Hey everybody, what's going on? Hellmite here, bringing you another video from Grab the Lantern today. Today I wanted to finally give my review of Zoe now that it's been just about a week since her release, and talk a little bit about how I feel about the champion as a whole, how she plays, and where I think her balance state is. Now, first and foremost, I will be completely honest with you guys, this is not my kind of champion. I attempted to play Zoe a couple of times, never went very well, just something about the champion and I didn't agree with each other. That being said, I know a lot of people are having a ton of fun with Zoe, and I have seen some really good Zoes, so I wouldn't necessarily say that she's a bad champion or poorly designed, just not someone that I personally am able to play very effectively. But I did play Zoe, and I have seen quite a few friends actually play Zoe as well and give me their thoughts on the champion, so I'll be kind of recapping those things for you here. Now, first and foremost, I think that from a balance perspective, Zoe is in a fine spot. I know a lot of people are surprised to hear that, but I don't really think she's in that bad of a place. I think that her crowd control is relatively telegraphed, even if it can come at you from a very long distance and has a relatively wide splash zone. I think that it's a telegraphed enough skill shot that it doesn't feel that bad when you get slept. It kind of feels like you messed up or the Zoe positioned it perfectly rather than there was nothing I could do about that. The other thing I really enjoy about Zoe is that she is a burst mage, but she is almost entirely dependent on a single ability for all of her damage, and that one ability is her Q, which has a very long wind-up time before it'll actually hit the damage. If Zoe wants to get the kind of one-shot paddle stars that will insta-kill you, she needs to be spending a lot of time and energy landing the sleep, but that's a necessity, and then sending the star all the way back and bringing it all the way forward. That gives your team plenty of time to body block, that gives you plenty of time to use Cleanse or Quicksilver Sash. There's a lot of opportunity to get out of the way of the paddle star as it's coming. Now, shorter range paddle stars are much more difficult to dodge, especially given that she can maneuver them around minions, but at the same time, they don't do as much damage, so it's completely fine in my opinion. Spell Thief is the one place where I figured Zoe may get somewhat difficult to deal with because of the randomness inherent in Spell Thief, but unless you're maxing it first, it doesn't seem like you get that many spell shards early on just through minions. It does feel like you are dependent on enemy champions dropping them as they cast summoner spells, at which point it feels fine. Part of the reason you pick Zoe is for her ability to basically follow up on any flash ever, because she has the ability to do it for free. Or if she gets a random redemption in lane, she just got really lucky, and I think that it's fine to have some degree of luck in League of Legends, just so long as it doesn't completely decide games, and I don't feel like getting an early redemption is necessarily throwing the game out the window just because of good luck or bad luck, as it might be the case. The biggest issue I have with Zoe is that her kit feels very interesting to play together. She only really uses 3 of her abilities to combo together, which is she lands the sleep with Sleepy Treble Bubble, goes with her ultimate, and then gets as much range out of Paddle Star as possible in order to try and kill you in one hit. But besides that, the W doesn't really exist on her kit for any purpose, it feels. The bonus damage that she gets after casting a summoner spell or casting an ability copied with Spell Thief just feels kind of tacked on. The bonus movement speed doesn't really seem to serve much of a purpose beyond just she needed another ability, and this adds a little bit more damage in case Paddle Star wasn't enough. And it doesn't feel like it's incentivized enough for Zoe to get in close and actually attempt to use it, because you want to be holding onto your summoner spells as much as possible. You're never really obligated to try and go in or make a big play with your spell. So I don't quite know the reason it exists on the kit. It's a very interesting ability, but it doesn't play well with the rest of Zoe's kit and makes her feel a little bit lackluster, especially given that 9 times out of 10, Spell Thief isn't going to do anything, especially if you're not maxing it first. You won't get that many spell shards, and if you're not getting spell shards, the ability just kind of sits around doing nothing for you. The fact that Portal Jump is also on a low cooldown is also interesting. It's not as broken as I thought it was, because sure, her kit's always on, but like I kind of mentioned before, she has enough of an ability to get at a range or get at a dodge that it's not that big of a deal. So I don't feel like Portal Jump's low cooldown is a bad thing. In fact, it kind of feels like Spell Thief is her ultimate and Portal Jump is just her third basic ability. Overall, I think I'm happy with Zoe, her current balance. I think her design could have used a little bit of work, but I don't feel like she's in that bad of a position, especially given that she feels like she's perfectly at home in the mid lane. I don't think she'd be seeing very much play over in the side lanes, and I do feel like in terms of burst mages, there are significantly better burst mages or control mages to play if you really want somebody. Syndra is still going to be a go-to pick over Zoe just because her wave clear is better, her burst is more reliable, her crowd control is more reliable. She has a lot more advantages over Zoe. However, Zoe also has a lot of hard to quantify aspects of her kit. What is the value of Sleepy Trouble Bubble? What is the value of Spell Thief? It's difficult to tell, especially this early on. I think she's in a relatively good spot at the moment, but I think that we don't really know how well she's balanced until we kind of give it more time to wait and see. Ornn is a similar champion where when he first came out, he had a lot of weird aspects to his kit, and everyone was thinking, well, how good really is he? I can't tell because he does a lot of weird things. He got a lot of buffs, and now he's kind of strong at the moment. But Riot have confirmed that they're not going to be touching Zoe for probably at least a month. They're going to wait and see how players adapt to her very odd kit. So we'll see ultimately where she ends up in the future. I think she's in a fine spot, but we'll see what Riot thinks at the end of the day. Anyways, that's going to be it from me today, guys. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts on Zoe down in the comment section below. I would love to hear what you guys are thinking of the new champion, how you're building her, where you're playing her, and in general, are you enjoying her more than me? Because I'm not a big fan, like I stated before. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. And if you really enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. I upload a video every Monday, Friday, and on patch days as well. And if you're looking for more Grab the Lantern content, you can check out my blog, grabthelantern.tumblr.com. I have a link in the description below, and I upload an article just about each and every single day for your viewing pleasure. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I will talk to you all later.